Hey guys, welcome once again to Gracie Schwarzwald. I'm here with Eric Mete, and we're continuing on with our self-defense course. And now we're going to deal with some attacks from the rear. Okay, so when I'm attacking you from the front, what can you do? You can use, he has frames, right? He can see me, he can block me, all of these things can happen. There may be surprise attacks, but he's still at least aware of my position, okay? So his reaction can be, I won't say slower, but more informed. Okay, when he turns around and I attack him from behind, obviously he can't frame me away. It becomes much more difficult. So it's also he can't see me. Okay, now, what is the defense to being punched from the back of the head?
No, there is no defense.
There is no defense to that, right? I've even heard people say that's kind of a gotcha thing. How do you defend that? You don't. Right? You have to be aware, try to increase your awareness of your surroundings. Somebody just decides to run up and pop you in the back of the head, just hope you're strong enough to stay conscious. Okay, so we always want to be aware of our surroundings. Okay, but we're going to go into some other attacks again where somebody tries to control you. The first one we're going to go with is a bear hug under the arms. If somebody comes up behind you and grabs you under the arms. Now we have several ways we're going to deal with this. Right now, the first thing we're going to deal with is, again, breaking the hold. Now, when I grab you from the front, here, and want to hold you, remember what we want to do is make ourselves as big as possible. And we use the frame to make ourselves as big as possible. Even if I lock my hands, he builds a frame, he's able to then move away, my hands can't stay locked. From here, he can't frame against me with his arms. Now, we're going to use kind of a frame here. Okay? So what he wants to do is, the first thing he wants to do is make sure that my hands stay low on his hips, because that's going to be the part that gets widest. If I hold him here, it's very hard for him to make himself wide. So he's going to take his hands and he's going to lock my hands down low on his hips. He's going to try to get his thumbs in here. Okay. Now, as you can see, I personally, it's a personal thing. Some people go one way or the other. I usually go to the top arm. He digs his thumbs right in the top arm. And he's got his arms almost locked out as much as possible. So if I'm trying to lift him, it's much harder. Okay. What you don't want to do is the self-defense thing of trying to elbow me or something like this, or fight your way out of this, or headbutt me. Because what's going to happen while you're trying to do all that? I'm going to pick you up and slam you. Yeah. Okay. So that's when somebody grabs, especially under the arms, whether it's from the front and especially from the rear, the number one danger is getting picked up. Okay, so once he does this, what he's going to start to do is he's going to walk his hips out. Now, as he walks his hips out, he wants to even drive that hip bone a little bit into this. I'm not trying to turn. I'm going to walk and drive that hip forward. And his shoulder is what's framing into me on the upper part. So he's not walking out like this. If you just walk forward like that, I just follow. Okay, he wants to drive his hips away here, okay, until he breaks that grip. Now, what happens is people just try to use their arm strength to do it. Walk your hips, and you see how he's driving his body into me here, okay? Once he does this, once you break that grip here, instead of just turning back in and getting grabbed, here, once I break that grip, I can, of course, just take off that way, or I can pass the arm across and go outside his arm. It's not wrong to go this way, but what might happen is I break that grip and then I start running, and then he catches me. Okay? So often, once we break that grip, we take the hand and we pass it like we want to put it in our back pocket. Here, I pass off and I clear away. So we're here. I lock, he breaks, he clears off. Now, one little thing, okay? If you look down, because what is this motion? It's a bridge, right? If you look at your hips, can you bridge very high?
No.
Right? So you want to drive your shoulders and your head up here, yeah. And then we're here, okay? And that is our way to defend. Also, by the way, sorry, let me back up for just 1 second. When I grab him and he moves his hips away, it's almost impossible for me to lift him now. Okay? So we want to avoid keeping our hips close, just like when I grab you from the front. So that is our bear hug under the arms escape. When somebody grabs, locks their hands under the arms, keep the hands low, thumbs in, drive your shoulders in, walk your hips out, pop the grip. Use your hip and your arms to pop the grip.